I was at my grandpa's house earlier today, and we are having a Gujarati language lesson together. It was our very first one, okay? And today we are mostly focusing on the alphabet.
So in Gujarati language, the alphabets are called kako, and the vowels are separate, like a, I, e, u, ru, a, I, o.
I live streamed the whole lesson. You guys can watch the live stream and let me know what you think. But on my end, I think at a very quick pace, I was able to figure out how to write things that my grandpa would say at a okay level, considering it was only an hour and a half in. And second of all, I was able to read things out at an acceptable level, again, considering it only been like an hour, 45 minutes of teaching.
Suppose you want to write Rafula. So write starts with pa. Correct. Bindia. So you start with ba first.
Yeah. Yeah. India.
India, correct.
M.
Correct. This is Bindia. What did I write?
Wrong. Oh.
3.
Yeah. And the reason I was able to do that is I noticed, and I was looking for patterns that were coming up in our specific lesson. So I noticed a lot of the things that my grandpa was having me read had a vowel sound that sounds like O. And so what I did is when I was reading, I was like, you know what? There's lots of O's and A's actually. I was like, you know what? Screw all the other vowels. For the moment, I'm only gonna really, in my brain, try and drill these two into my brain so that when these come up, I can successfully get through that task. It sounds super common sense, but I realized that a lot of people are not looking for pattern recognition, or not looking for patterns that will help them in the present time. Usually they just follow textbooks, they follow what their teacher says, which by the way, is fantastic. This works, I do it myself, it is amazing. But I think there's a lot of value in also adding on that task of looking for patterns that, again, are going to help you in the present time. Another major thing that really stood out today was when I was working with my French student earlier this morning on a video project for his business.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
J'ai créé mon agence appartient. I can't even look. Okay,
Don't look at me then, don't look at me, look somewhere else.
Well, it's even worse to look at myself.
Well then don't look.
Well, because I'm gonna have to. J'ai créé.
I'll flip it towards me so you don't
well,
see
that
yourself.
actually better. I'd rather look at that instead of look at the actual.
Okay, fair enough. And what's interesting when I work with a student is that I actually, in a lot of ways, will let him make a certain level of mistakes and let him speak in ways that, and write in ways that maybe are not the best. Maybe they're not like the most native ways to say things, right? Because he said that I want to keep my natural way of speaking, right? Like, I don't care if French people don't say that, like that's how I want to speak. And so a lot of stuff, it's like trying to find that balance of like, how do you make it sound good and like be understood and like sound proper and everything, but also maintain his natural way of speaking, right? And his natural way of putting words together. And so it's interesting working with him and kind of coaching him on his French, and helping him to improve on it and to like work with it and everything. But also it's fascinating helping him maintain a lot of his own idiosyncrasies. It's a fascinating balance that, quite honestly, I think a lot of teachers miss out on. And you know, because they cannot, they're so stuck to the fact that, oh, that's not the best way, oh my god, this would be so much better. Have a little bit of flexibility, move with them a bit, roll with them a bit, right? And really help them. You know, you gotta really listen, right? You gotta listen to them and where are they at, etc. So anyway, we'll wrap the vlog up there and we'll chat later. Bye for now.